Alrighty, welcome to episode 2 of the Sonata Chronicles vlog, which is, I guess, our homoerotic episode.
Ooh, yeah.
Since we're cuddling on the couch. This would be take 2 as we had sound problems in the park. So you get white background.
And anyone in film knows that you most likely always have to do a second take because of problems, but...
So, what we're going to talk about today is how we came up with the idea of the Sonata Chronicles. And I'm, of course, the writer, producer, director. Charles is the line producer.
That would be me.
Yes,
I'm Charles.
This is Charles.
Hello.
And so we're basically going to go over how this project came to be. And the genesis really started probably about, 10, 11 months ago. I was in kind of a funk and upset about a science fiction series that I truly loved, and how upset I was about how it had gone down and how it had changed. And I decided that I would want to remake them and fix them. And what I came to the realization was that was never going to happen, but I could just make my own. And I can make something that was not just about what I wanted to do, but was about the fans. And if I could make something that the fans would enjoy, then it would be their story too. And so I started looking at what I had, and then I looked at what I wanted to do. And every year at AFM, the Jordanian Film Commission was there, and this was before we had the new tax incentive. And I said, and I would always go and I would sit down with them and we would talk about what it would be like to shoot in Jordan and all the great things they could do for us and for any film crew. And it was really a great experience. They're so friendly. And then, so I said, okay, I want to shoot in Jordan, so this world will have to be kind of a Middle Eastern desert world. And I started thinking about all the things that go into that. And it kind of brought me back to my childhood, when we used to spend winters up in Winter Park with my dad's parents. And when the boys, most of us were younger than the girls on that side of the family, when we would have trouble sleeping, my grandmother would always tell us Bible stories. So I started looking at what makes a great Bible story. And most of it is about impossible odds and, overcoming with just conviction and faith and a belief in something greater. So I looked at that and I really started constructing this story. We're going to, and the best villains in those stories are the tyrants. And then on the other side you have this lone person that doesn't seem like much, but ends up proving to be much more than anybody thought they would be.
Yeah, he's typically a very average, insert yourself into the character, basically, is what it makes a great hero or a great, story, is that something you can identify with and feel, and really go along with it. And it's really important to have a storyline that kind of helps out with that, that just anyone can be part of it.
Yeah, and that's a big part of, not every character can be Superman. And so what makes Superman great is that you have all these great characters that surround him that if they get hurt is almost as devastating as if Superman gets hurt. So you have the stakes that way, and then you can have this invincible person that ends up fighting, crime and that kind of thing, because there are stakes. But in most stories, I try to make sure that I have a normal person, someone that has flaws, that can be hurt, that can, that we recognize as being mortal, going up against impossible odds. So on one side you have the immortal Emperor Constant, who's a tyrant, trying to keep peace and civility and stability across this entire empire by any means necessary. And then you have Almet, who starts off the story a lost boy, but then begins to find his place in the world and that brings him into competition with Emperor Constant.
A lot of it also is, it's not just one person, it's a group of people, and it's people that you can rely on that makes those unbelievable odds a little easier to deal with. So that also is a big part of it as well. So he also has the ability that the fact that his friends and loved ones could be sacrificed or injured, or he could be sacrificed and injured. It could go either way.
And in this story too, there's whole communities of people. It's a lot about clash and conflict. So, I mean, even not to give away the end, but even as the story progresses and you start to come to a head at the end of the first film, you see that really it's not just one person's conflict against another, but it's a whole culture really, standing up for something new. Alright, so that we went a little bit over, but there's two of us, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully for those of you who commented, I said a little bit less. I know I had a couple in there, like just right now. And we'll see you next week. Bye.